I nearly dropped out of university, not because the work was beyond me, but because an identity conflict was consuming my mental bandwidth, and no one had given me the framework to understand what was happening. If you have moved abroad and felt almost overnight like you lost 30 IQ points, maybe it is not a personal failing. Rather, maybe you have come face to face with a different identity system and you are paying what I call an identity tax. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what that tax is, why it is costing you, and drawing from 20 years of research and my published books on this subject, I'm going to show you how to stop paying it. I have lived every stage of this problem. I was born in a small town in Uganda, but then I went to the US as a teenager, and for over 4 years, my academic performance collapsed. What saved me was not harder work. It was understanding the structure of the problem I was dealing with. And when I recovered, I published 2 books, The Fourth Heritage and Beyond the Fourth Heritage, which are a systematic framework built from my lived experience and years of research to help other people who may need self-transformation regarding the aspect of identity. When you are at home, say in Africa, identity is effortless. It is a function of your tribal ethnicity, your religion, and the legacy of colonialism. You do not wake up having to translate yourself into any labels. That effortlessness is psychological stability. It frees your mind to work, ambition, and to build genuine relationship. Then, when you move abroad, things change. For many Africans in the US, the full complexity of who we are, our ethnicity, language, faith, intellectual traditions, get collapsed into one vague identity, race. Your name doesn't matter, your story doesn't matter. The lens is already set before you walk into a room. And unfortunately, if you resist that reduction, you enter what I call identity no man's land, physically present, socially homeless, belonging nowhere. When identity becomes unstable, it does not stay in the background. It consumes your mental bandwidth. Your mind runs background questions continuously. How do they see me? How do I behave not to be rejected? Do I accept the racial script or resist it? You end up having what I call a porous mind, a mind that leaks focus, energy, and direction. A mind unable to sustain concentration on long-term goals because too much processing power is trapped in survival level identity negotiation. You become hypersensitive, less creative, more passive. Not from lack of ability, but because your intelligence is being spent on the wrong problem. I lived this. I arrived in the US as a math and science student with no academic reason to struggle, but for 4 years I did struggle. The battle inside was real, but people from the outside couldn't appreciate it. Until I understood the structure of the problem, I had no way to fight it. I had lost my center. Most people respond to identity conflict by clutching the home scripts even tighter. It never works. Inherited scripts were designed for environments where everyone shares the same reference points. In a new environment, they stop translating. When this happens, you have reached what I call a heritage ceiling. It is that point at which the scripts from your ethnicity, religion, and colonial conditioning stop being sufficient for the new environment. When you hit it, you have 2 options: stay trapped, confused, reactive, underperforming, or initiate a mind shift. The fourth heritage is that mind shift. Every tropical African shaped by the modern world carries what Professor Ali Mazrui called a triple heritage of ethnicity, religion, and the colonial encounter. Each of them gives us real things, real value, like community, language, and systems. But each also carries limiting scripts, inherited assumptions about who we are and what we are capable of. The fourth heritage is the decision for you to become the conscious author of your own forward-looking identity, rather than a passive inheritor of scripts never designed for the world you may be living in. Think of it this way. Your ethnicity is like your legs. You stand on them. Your religion is like the heart. It holds your deepest emotions. Your colonial heritage is like the hands. It gives you the language, system, and institutions to work in the modern world. However, the fourth heritage is like the head. It decides what to keep, what to discard, and what to integrate from the world as you live life. When you develop the fourth heritage, your mind shifts from porous to what I call a concentrated mind, a mind able to sustain focus, grasp complexity, and build long-term value. For me, this shift came after my identity crisis in the US. I stopped waiting for the world to recognize my authentic identity and started building one it couldn't ignore. I ended up staying in university, graduated, built a career across engineering, investment banking, and now business. And more importantly, I've authored 3 books and founded the Fourth Heritage Initiative, an organization to help young tropical Africans to make the shift much earlier in their lives than I did. My life is not a success story, it is a map. And if you are curious Ugandan or African youth, maybe it can direct you to your chosen identity destiny. What does the fourth heritage mind shift look like in practice? On the issue of race, before the shift, the internal script was, I must either uncomfortably accept this racial label or reject the entire society. But after the shift, you understand a more precise truth. Race describes, it does not define. If you are a tall person, your height describes a physical reality. It does not determine your fundamental identity. Race operates the same way. You can acknowledge it as a social reality without permitting it to pass for who you are. This is not naivety, it is precision, objective truth. The same logic applies to religion, to colonial conditioning, to every inherited script. You stop being controlled by old scripts or new labels, and you author a better one, a fourth heritage script. My conviction is this: heritage is not destiny, it is data. You can examine it, interpret it, and customize it for your own good. So, if moving away from home has thrown you off center, you may not be weak. You might have collided with a structural problem, an identity problem that is real. And the solution is not to work harder. The solution is to shift your mind so you stop performing labels and start operating from an inner stability that is your default when identity is secure. And the fourth heritage is the tool that can help you to achieve this transformation in a chaotic, globalized world. Thank you.